Alright, today we're going to dive into a guidebook for a totally different kind of mountain getaway in the Colorado Rockies. Seriously, this is not about tourist traps. It's an experience put together by a local who's super passionate about getting people to truly disconnect. So let's check out what makes this Cripple Creek Hideaway so special.
This quote from the guidebook kind of says it all, right? It tells you that the real luxury here isn't fancy amenities. It's the place itself. The main draws are the pine trees, the red rocks, and those incredible views. It's really setting the stage for a genuine escape from all the noise of our daily lives.
And every great escape needs a great guide. So meet John Jay. He's the host, the guy who's personally put this whole experience together. He's a huge outdoor enthusiast, and his whole goal is to share this peaceful mountainous escape that he loves. He's basically our guide for everything we're about to explore.
So what is the Hideaway, really? Well, at its core, it's a piece of private land designed to help you just unplug. The whole experience is built around three key things: really immersing yourself in nature, quiet relaxation, and, of course, taking full advantage of those clear mountain skies for some amazing stargazing.
Now, the guidebook talks about the Hideaway as a base camp for adventure. Think of it like the hub of a wheel, where all the other experiences are the spokes branching out. But before we get to all those adventures, let's get a handle on the hub itself.
Okay, this slide really lays it all out, what they call dry camping. And it's not about the lack of stuff, it's a deliberate trade-off. By giving up buildings, running water, and Wi-Fi, you gain total seclusion, incredible dark skies for stargazing, and a real chance for a digital detox. It's a full-on commitment to keeping it simple.
And, that simplicity comes with some really important responsibilities. You've got to bring your own gear, whether it's a tent or a small camper, and the absolute core rule is leave no trace. That means everything you bring in, you pack out. And remember, you're in the animal's home, so you have to be smart about wildlife and store your food securely.
All right, now for the first spoke of our adventure, the local food scene. The guidebook makes it super clear that just because you're camping doesn't mean you can't eat well. In fact, John Jay has put together a whole food tour for you. So the tour starts with something you'd probably never expect on a rustic trip: 980 Prime. This is a legitimate fine dining spot, complete with cool touches like a tableside smoked old-fashioned. It's just a perfect example of the amazing contrast you can find just a short drive from your campsite. And then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you've got Docks. The guidebook gives it a 10 out of 10, not for being fancy, but for its super cozy sunroom and amazing breakfast. This is your fuel for a day of hiking. We're talking biscuits and gravy or burritos smothered in green chili. Yes, please. The guidebook also points out how important it is to have some good grab-and-go options. A place like Pioneer Take and Bake Pizza, which is run out of this cool rustic cabin, is perfect for picking up one of their Scooby subs, a quick, delicious meal you can just take with you on the trip. And the guidebook is just packed with other local gems. You can start your day with a great coffee from Gold Camp Cafe, grab the legendary Dynamite Dip sandwich at Dynamite Dick's, try a local elk burger at the Creek, or just get a classic diner meal at the Home Cafe. It's got something for whatever you're in the mood for. Okay, moving on to our next spoke, let's see how this base camp unlocks all the history and natural wonder of the Pikes Peak region. This is where the adventure part of the guidebook really starts to shine. What's so cool about this area is how it blends two different worlds. One minute you can be stepping back into Wild West history at the Outlaws and Lawmen Jail Museum, and the next you're experiencing incredible Rocky Mountain wildlife at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, which is famously built right into the side of a mountain. How cool is that? But to really understand the history here, the guidebook says you've got to go underground. The Molly Kathleen Gold Mine Tour literally takes you 1,000 feet down into the earth. It gives you this very real, hands-on idea of what life was like for the miners who built this town. Now, you can't talk about this part of the country without talking about Pikes Peak. And the guidebook makes it clear that seeing America's mountain isn't just one thing. You can drive the scenic highway, you can ride the historic Cog Railway, or you can hike it. But no matter what you choose, it says there's one thing you have to do. Try the world-famous donuts that are made at the 14,000-foot summit. So with all these options, how do you actually piece it all together? Well, the guidebook doesn't just throw a list at you. It gives you a super practical, budget-friendly plan to help you structure your trip. And what's awesome is just how accessible this whole adventure is. The sample itinerary is built around a daily budget of about $200. Which just goes to show that a memorable, curated mountain experience doesn't have to break the bank. The plan they lay out is so simple and balanced. Day one is all about history. You focus on the gold mines and the historic downtown. Then, day 2 shifts completely to nature, emphasizing all the mountain vistas and hiking.
And when you look closer at the details, you can see how it all connects so well. On day 1, you combine that underground mine tour with watching the sunset from a beautiful scenic overlook. Then day 2 gets you up Pikes Peak and onto Gold Camp Road for a hike or a bike ride. It's just a perfectly balanced mix of everything the region has to offer.
Finally, the guidebook brings us full circle, right back to the core idea of the Cripple Creek Hideaway. Because this whole thing is more than just a place to camp. It's really a philosophy.
And this is the main takeaway. The food, the history, the adventure, they're all spokes that are connected to this central hub of just disconnecting. The Hideaway is basically an invitation to put your phone down, to recharge your battery instead of your devices, and to simply look up at the stars.
And that really brings us to the question that's at the heart of this entire guidebook. It's challenging us to think about where we find our peace. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly disconnected in order to reconnect with nature, with other people, or maybe just with yourself?